right, everybody, welcome into this reading. I am going to look at the energies of the collective right now. These are spiritually based readings. Sometimes relationships do pop up in them, but a lot of times this is about something else altogether, about energies that are going on in the world. Definitely felt some wobble in the force this past week and a half. If you've had a lot of triggers, you are not alone. We talked about that in the heart healing group this week on Wednesday. Next week, we're going to talk about core wounds versus sacred wounds. And that's something that was of big interest yesterday or Wednesday when I was doing that workshop. We are going to be giving you tools, and we are going to be giving you ways to identify these things in yourself. They definitely block happiness, joy, love, money, all the above. So if you want to jump on to the Heart Healing Group, there's a link in the description box below. Jen Huber and she is a shaman. We do a lot of healing work in those groups, in that group. So I hope you will join. If you do not get my newsletter, I'm going to encourage it, because for September, I'm putting a lot of information in there, some stuff that's very specific to the newsletter that I won't be talking about on the channel very much at all. So I'd love for you to do that. There's a link right on our website, Soulful Revolution TV. And just jump onto that. Okay, let's see where we're going today for everybody. All right, deep breath, everybody. Oh, thank goodness. Peace. Yeah, some real wobble in the universe right now. New life coming in, beautiful. Been talking about that for a while. And a change in the wind. Some of you could be, in theory, wanting to make change, or feeling like, hey, this is, it'd be really good if I could get out of this situation or move on from something that is disturbing my peace. But I feel like then when you kind of step into it or step toward it, there's a lot of fear going on. And I just feel like that was the triggers for a lot of people this past 2 weeks. We are now in Mercury in retrograde. And I have been talking quite a bit about, if you think about it, Mercury is about communication, right? So we talk about, the computers dying and all of that stuff. But I want to go a little bit deeper on that idea of Mercury retrograde, because retrogrades are about internal conversation, especially Mercury in retrograde is about internal conversation. So this might be a good time for you to assess and understand what is freaking you out right now, what is holding you back from living the life you want to live. If you're not living that life, why not? What is stopping you? And you can point to a whole bunch of external reasons, but at the end of the day, it tracks back to our connection to spirit and what we're telling ourselves. Because if we tell ourselves something that is a lie, that you're not capable, that's a lie. Okay? That, I've never had enough energy to, move forward and start my business. I don't have enough time. I don't have money. La 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 la. Excuses. And I feel like that's something that people get really uptight about, because they're like, no, for real, I don't have enough money. Okay, but can you ask for it? Maybe you don't right this second. Okay, but that doesn't need to stop you. Ask for opportunities. Ask for the right people to show up. That's a really strong way. There's a message coming. Look at this. Okay. I'm asking from a spiritual perspective with the High Priestess. I'm asking the universe to bring me the opportunities, the situations, the people. Ta-da! Ace of Pentacles. Asked and answered from the heart, coming from the heart. Ace of Cups. Look at this manifestation that's coming right through here. I feel like there's a new way of manifesting, which happiness, joy, look at all of this. 10 of Cups, happiness, joy, financial stability, all of this. And I just think it's yours for the asking. Have you tried? Because, we get calcified in these buckets or in these ways of looking at the world. Nothing ever works out for me. What are you telling yourself? And that's why affirmations are so powerful. I know people are like, the memes and all this kind of stuff. Like, what does that really do? The stories you tell yourself, the more you tell yourself, it's not just a thought, it's a belief. And then it becomes calcified into a conviction. We don't, this is the paradigm we live by. If we choose not to change the paradigm we live by, our lives will never change. There's a paradigm going on here that needs busting up, okay? Change in the wind, and that new life is coming. So there's some paradigm that needs your attention. Six of Pentacles, Six of Wands, Chariot. That's a lot of fast forward movement. Six of Cups, Hierophant, Ten of Wands. Some kind of responsibility, some kind of tradition, something that you believe in. Not just it's not just a belief. It's how you think the world works. If you know what your paradigm is, how you look through the lens of your own experience. If life has beaten you down, or if you've had the experiences that you've had, and let's say you create this paradigm of, all people are essentially evil or toxic, and you wall yourself away from people, there's consequences to that. If you believe people are inherently good, the thing is, our paradigms, we go out and gather evidence to prove ourselves right. So if you believe people are inherently good, and you've believed this from a child, and you go out and you get beaten up by that belief, then it becomes the inverse of it. Then it becomes, because the fact is, if you're choosing people, and from a core wound, from a wound that you have, you're choosing to reaffirm, or, right, you're gathering evidence. So you're choosing to reaffirm some kind of core belief that if your paradigm is everybody is essentially good, or essentially like me, everybody would behave like me. No, they won't. They really won't. But it doesn't mean it destroys all your faith in humanity. It means it's time to get a new paradigm. It's time to correct the things about the situations that have beaten you up. It's time to say, yeah, I chose a person who was narcissistic. I really want to learn how to not do that anymore. I really want to heal the place that got me there. Why did I need that lesson? If you're looking through the lens of ego, then it is like, I choose not to have any love in my life because I only pick narcissists. I choose not to go down this road that's going to be scary for me because it's out of my comfort zone and I don't know how to handle that. Anything that you're doing that is putting you in a situation where you're living life unconsciously can always lead to this Ten of Wands feeling. If you are like, everybody's like me, and you don't really vet people to make sure that's true, how about I only choose people who choose to live in love? I choose people authentically. I choose people in alignment with my highest good. I'm looking through the lens of soul. So there are going to be people who are going to show up in your life who are really good teachers. How the lesson plays out, that's the soul contract between you and that person. So you could have a contract about learning what love means. And on one side of you, you can say, oh, well, that means a contract that it's going to be really loving and amazing. In some people, that might happen. In other people, it won't. It's going to be happening like, wow, you're showing me the opposite of what love is. And that's how I know what love is. You cannot, right? We're living in a world of duality. So we need light to have dark. Right? We need indifference to have love. We know the absence of love when we feel it. We know the emotions of anger and fear and all of these kinds of things. And I just feel like this is a shift in a paradigm for some of you who are deciding to see it and say, you know what? I've been doing this since I was a kid. It's gotten me nowhere. All right. I feel very like, as a Sagittarius, I'm going to tell you that being super open and being super trusting of people is a thing that has gotten me into trouble, but it's also gotten me some amazing opportunities. So I'm not ready to throw that out, but I'm also not calcifying it into some kind of belief that blocks me from some really great things coming in my life. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work with that paradigm. I'm going to work with that mindset, and I'm going to do some healing work around the times when it didn't work. And what did I learn from that? And incorporate that into the paradigm. So the paradigm grows. It doesn't calcify. It doesn't become stronger in terms of, I will never question that again. I will never do that again. Those are things that are calcified. Whenever you use the term never or always or anything like that, those are convictions that you've decided on. Okay, so I'm inviting you to take a look at those right now. Yep, there's the Hermit, Judgment, Tower, abso-freaking-lutely, Fool. Getting free of this by look at all the spiritual connection. Look at all this spirituality here, the High Priestess and the Hermit. So some of you help a lot of people and are drained by it because you're not maybe understanding that you need help yourself, that there needs to be a balance in life about when we expend energy needs to flow back to us. If we're not having flow back to us, then that's something to look at, right? If you're putting out all this energy and nothing's coming back, it's going to burn you out. It's going to feel like this 10 of Wands. So what we're going to do is anything you're doing that's pushing out a lot of energy that isn't bringing things back to you, that's one of the things to look at. It may be because you have a belief that, oh gosh, I really am flashing on an episode of Law and Order. Vincent D'Onofrio's in this episode. And I think Stephen Colbert is the guest star. And he plays a forger. Okay. And he and his mother live in this apartment. And she gives away everything. Everything he loves, she gives it away to the church or something like that. She gives everything away. And he is not being nurtured or cared for by this person. She's abusing him by depleting his energy, by taking things away from him. So he feels like he has to lock his doors in his own little apartment. And it's a little apartment. It's a 2-bedroom apartment in New York City. It's very small. And he feels like he has to defend himself against everything. So he's created this fantastic fantasy life. And he gets adulation from people because he's become something of a miraculous historian and finding these artifacts, these amazing artifacts around a certain person or a certain saint or something like that. And so he's getting all this like adulation from outside, but he never gets adulation from his mother. But the real thing is that he doesn't know how to feed himself. He doesn't know that he's putting out energy doing this to get something back from people. And it's forgeries. So it's not even something that's authentic. And it will come back and blow up in his face. And it does, of course, because it's Law and Order. But this is really about, are you giving to get, or are you knowing that you're responsible for your own energetic hygiene? Okay. Do you know how to do that? Do you know how to work with the energies that are depleting you? Do you know how to move away from things that aren't positive for you? I feel like the 6 of Pentacles and the 6 of Wands, some of you, and please don't take this the wrong way, because it's not meant to be anything but a way of looking at life. Some of you can understand the difference between looking at life through a soul's purpose kind of lens and paradigm versus an egoic paradigm. And you can see when you're doing this, we all do it. We all look through the lens of ego sometimes. And then those of us who are on the spiritual path look through the lens of soul growth. So when we look at situations in our life, we say, what is this here to teach me? That is a very powerful way of looking at things. And it is a way of hooking some of these calcified beliefs, because when you're looking through the lens of ego says, no, this is what it is. That may well be true. Be that as it may. That may well be true. But when you look through the lens of soul, of your soul, You're like, wow, I'm overawed every time I look through the lens of my soul and say to myself, even if I'm terrified, even if I'm in a difficult spot, even if I'm in joy and like this, every single experience, what is this teaching me? And how can I kind of suck all the good stuff from this moment in time when I'm having these epiphanies, these aha moments? Because I feel like you're moving from a place of 3D wisdom, which is this hierophant, which is a priest or a pope or a minister in a traditional kind of church, a traditional kind of thing, to this, which is like the shaman, the mystic, moving from a way of looking at life, even, soul and ego, both going on here because it's dualistic, right? To a place of pure soul. This is a place of pure soul. Okay. And I feel like Archangel Gabriel here is shaking some of us up, coming through. So, what is being asked of us here is to stop looking through the lens of ego, meaning how we look at life from a 3D perspective, and instead opening up to something that's much more spiritually based. That's the direction forward. And that is going to show you the things that need to be blown apart. Okay. I do want to clarify. I am going to clarify this right now. Okay. Because this is such a big deal. This is the stuff you don't see coming. You don't see the beautiful high priestess asking for the help, asking for the opportunities. Bam. Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. You're manifesting from a heart space, from a soul space. That is all coming in. What's blocking it is manifesting from an egoic space. Okay. Some of you have a block that keeps you in a ego kind of way of looking at the world. Okay. I'm going to clarify the Tower. Page of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, Four of Wands, Knight of Pentacles. There's a way forward here. This is Virgo. Okay. And so I feel like this might be happening, getting free of a block, getting free of something that's keeping you from moving into a new space, getting free of it. The Tower comes in when something is calcified. And what's calcified is a belief system. So you might have a very strong belief or a conviction that this is the only way to love, that this is the only way for me to make money, that this is the only way, this is it. And if you have that, if you've heard yourself say that, or if you know you're doing that, if you know that you're like stuck in a system that is draining you, but you have a belief that there is no other choice, that's why the Tower comes in. So the Judgment is saying, open up to the wisdom of your soul's experience. You have something new to learn. I also feel like you're moving. I also feel like this is like a physical moving here. Knight of Wands, yep, Seven of Swords, Eight of Pentacles, and the Strength card. This is going to require courage, and I feel like you're moving away from an inauthentic way of doing your work or an inauthentic group of people that is you're currently attracting. You might be attracting in people that you're like, how, why? Like, I used to be really connected with my spiritual peeps, and all of a sudden I'm like hanging out with people that are dragging me, it feels like dragging me away from my soul's purpose. Why is that? Okay, please. So this is going to require courage, but you have it. I feel like you have built it with your dealings with these people. Ah, wow. These people are here to build your courage. These people have come across the transom for you. So you might look at them and be like, they're really not my people. This is not my tribe. This is not my people. They're here to show you what is your tribe. Okay? These people, these experiences that seem really difficult and draining and calcified and all of that kind of stuff. You could have some kind of ego. You could have some kind of like, I'm here to be a minister. I'm here to help people. I'm here to do all this stuff. But there's something here that's being missed by that kind of vision, or that kind of how you're looking at what you're doing. Two of Wands, make a new choice here. Wheel of Fortune coming in. 10 of Pentacles. Oh yeah, my friend. 4 of Swords. There's something that's showing up in your money. There is a money trigger here, or there is some kind of choice that needs to be made because the money is draining away, or there's something like that. And you're like, I got to make a choice. I got to do something different. It requires some of you on a very 3D kind of level. You are definitely helping people who don't appreciate it, or you're in a situation where you're being drained by all the work you're putting out, and there's nothing left, right? There's nothing left. So the Tower comes in and kind of makes it easier for you. All right. I really feel like that's happening. So in the extended, I will pull cards for each zodiac sign. We'll get some individual guidance, but I definitely feel like, let me do one thing here before I go. In time for Scorpio season. How ironic is that? The Death card. In time for Scorpio season. So this shift is going to take place. I'm doing this reading in late August. September, October, November. The 3 months. 3 months. I'm surprised the 3 of Cups isn't here. So over the next 3 months, this change is going to be happening. Tower happens now, and then we move in the new direction of the change. All right. So individual zodiac in the extended, link is below. Come along with me. I will see you over there. All right. I hope you enjoyed that video. If it was helpful to you, please consider liking this video and sharing it with anybody who might have a need for similar kind of information. And if you like this video, check out these videos.